Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hearthstone. So I need two more victories with the priest, three victories with the warrior. Turns out there is no way to get the Cow King faceplate unlocked, so I don't have to worry about that. So we just got casual play to hop into right now. Uh, if it did unlock something, that would be pretty a pretty elite and short-term reward. That being said, wouldn't be surprised if somebody told me that every month you make legendary, you got extra card backs or something. But probably not every month. Maybe you get one card back if you end the month on legendary. That would make some more sense. I've got a whole second list of boards, a whole second board full of whiteboard full of topics to talk about. So in theory, I can at least go one more recording and have things to discuss. But I'm also going to try to stick particularly to being focused on actually winning, if I can. The first thing, which is the biggest thing, so let's start with that right now, is some information came out via Steam Spy, so your belief on whether that's accurate or not may vary. But according to Steam Spy, Stardew Valley made way more money than Call of Duty. In fact, it made $24 million last year. So, I bought Stardew Valley. I can certainly understand that. A lot of people like Stardew Valley. I personally didn't like Stardew Valley.
In the light's name.
Let's see. Darn it. So I'm gonna have to do this to pull up this health.
Face the
to
light.
do this to bring down this health. Taking the turn. Darn it. I've got a major. I could probably, in the next couple turns, power this one up a lot. If it doesn't get killed, which it's gonna get killed. So that's about all we can say about that. Excluding microtransactions, Civilization 6 was more than likely the best, highest earner on Steam, which is kind of interesting. I didn't think the Civilization series was that popular, really.
In the light's name.
Restore 3 health to a friendly damaged character.
Feel my pain.
I'm gonna go ahead and take this and hopefully not take too much damage because of this.
Squire, attend me.
Let's see, moving on.
Ready, sir.
Over last year, 3.5 billion games were bought or redeemed on Steam. That's a big number, certainly. Let's see, what do I want to do? Give a friendly minion +3. Spell damage +4, +4. Seems like I can't really do much. So here we go. This 7 attack. So if Steam sold 3.5 billion, let's say Steam made like maybe 1 billion, 1.5 billion of that, I would guess. maybe even less than that, honestly, because for a digital store, I'm not sure how much of a cut you really get on it. But I've only heard some small rumors on like how much. Well, this is going to be interesting. And that means I need to kill this guy.
Feel my pain.
Well, I'm gonna die at this rate. Yeah,
What you
I've heard like
want?
GameStop on a $60 game, only a brand new game only makes like $10, maybe $20 on it, and they're not getting a 50% like standard retail cost that you would usually expect. I guess first thing first, get rid of this, and then we can go ahead and throw this.
How many fingers do you see?
And then
Feel my pain.
let's move forward there. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised on that same $60 game if Steam makes even less money. Here we go again, I suppose. Like, because they want to sell it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they only get $15, maybe a quarter of it. So 1/4 might be a little bit less than $1 billion of this estimated amount. Technically, and I would have to debate this one a lot. No Man's Sky was the most successful indie game
Let's the hunt
on Steam,
begin.
and that
light
accounts
shall
for
bring
refunds
victory.
and everything. Now, arguably, I'm not sure I would really say that it was an indie game, because it was getting a lot of support from Sony as far as publishing, or it seemed like it was. I guess technically it is an indie game, but it doesn't feel like an indie game.
Job's done.
When you think indie game, in my mind, you think I've got no publisher, or at best I've got something like Digital Devolver that's not going to spend much advertising on it, or you're gonna and you're not gonna get big coverage. You're not gonna get every single news video game site talking about your game over and over again. I think in a lot of ways just the amount of press coverage that game got pushes it from being indie. It's almost like saying it's indie because it's indie music.
I don't have enough mana.
And that still doesn't make the same sense. Sure, if Justin Bieber didn't have a signing company, stopped having a publisher or record deal, sure, technically he would be indie, but so many people would be talking about that it really wouldn't be the average experience. So, yeah, what's the next closest indie game in 2016 that would have made any money whatsoever? When you look at it from that perspective, then
How many fingers do you see?
the next closest game is probably something incredibly small, like maybe The Binding of Isaac might be an indie game that happens. Frog Fractions 2 came out too late, really, to make any money there. Is Rocket League really an indie company?
Such
Maybe.
big teeth I have.
So yeah, I can't even, particularly without deciding what I personally would consider indie, figure out what the next closest thing would be. Here we go. In the turn here. Dota 2 and Counter-Strike Global Offensive would have more than likely made more money with microtransactions included. like probably a lot more money than Civilization 6. It seems kind of strange that these are the games that you would think maybe if the Arkham game, Arkham Knight, had not been a piece of garbage, that would have sold a little bit better. Maybe the latest Assassin's Creed game would have sold a little bit better if it wasn't also tied into Uplay. Several Origin games don't come to Steam, so there's several games there that the PC don't come into play too. And then there's also, I guess, a factor to calculate into all of this, whether or not people just specifically want to get the games on their consoles instead of
In the light's name.
on a PC. Oh, darn it. That's exactly what I didn't need. That played badly there. Counter-Strike Global Offensive got 6.7 million new owners. So new people in 2016 bought that game a lot.
Job done.
Keep playing. The next closest person to get new people, new owners of the game, new purchases, was Rocket League at 2.6 million. So that's really crazy. A lot of people bought Rocket League and then it was free on PlayStation, and still people wanted to play it on PC, I guess. A lot.
Just a pinch of it.
Job done.
Trying to keep myself alive here. So, best as they can calculate, and this number is kind of weird, definitely. The average game averaged 6,640 sales. So, that's to say, certainly, lots of games sold a lot more units, as it were, and lots of games sold a lot less, but it balanced out to that amount of 6,640 sales. And with that average number of sales, the average game made $25,245 last year. So when you start to look at it at that rate, you start to put a dollar amount per sale. You can divide that by 5 and see that, it's slightly less than $4, slightly less than $5, and above $4 for the average price of a game. And that is certainly not enough money to live off of if you're making a video game. Even if you are doing the cheapest asset flip garbage ever, if you're only getting $25,000 for your effort, you've got to do a ridiculously small amount of effort, and you've got to put a ridiculously large amount of games out there. You have to be like that company that got kicked off of Steam, that tried to release like 20 games onto Steam Greenlight and Steam, just trying to flood the market, and they were all very bad. Let's see. I suppose if you could get 3 successes, or even 2 successes per year, that's enough to pay one person to make a game. But then the scale keeps sliding out from under that concept, because to make a successful game, then you need to have probably at least 2 people on the team, And when you calculate 2 people, then you need 100,000 to split between 2 people to get 50,000. So then you would need 4 successes a year to get that much. And let's be honest here, 2 people is not really enough. So let's say 4 people on the team. That's still an incredibly small thing. Well, then you need for an entire year, like, you would need
The legions I command.
200,000, which would mean you would need 8 successes per year. And let's be honest, 4 is still too small of a team. So
Feed the fish,
as it continuously goes, you're getting to these ridiculous ideas of how you're going to release 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games a year. All of them need to be at least average successful to afford the team to make that. And this is clearly goes to show why AAA games cost millions and millions, and why these Kickstarter things that say we only need 1 million, we only need 2 million are BS. They must be getting, they're either going to take your money and run, or they got millions of other dollars from other investors, because you do need millions and millions to pay somebody. Just a decent $50,000 a year wage, which for video game programmers should be not a good pay rate at all. Hopefully they're getting paid more than that, but I'm not certain that they are half the time. Let's see, there was 4,726 games added to Steam this year. I'd like to see the opposite of that and see how many games were taken off of Steam, because that seems like a number to also watch. Previously we had heard that 40% of all the games on Steam were added this year too. So if 4,000 is 40%, you know then that there's riding about now 10,000 games on Steam. Now, how many of those are really worth playing? Probably not that much, because I'm struggling now. I'm probably still somewhere at 550. Maybe I've gotten up to 600 games in my library. I haven't checked lately, but I wouldn't be surprised to find it. It's only 1,000 at most of all the games are worth playing, worth owning. So if 1,000 games are only worth owning, how many of them were added in last year? You have to ask yourself that. And honestly, I suspect the number's not as big as you would think. 2016 was not a terrible year for games, certainly. But if you wanted me to make a list of the top 100 games worth playing that I even thought were worth playing that came out this year, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do a top 50. Maybe I could get 40, maybe 30. I'm pretty sure I could name 20 games that came out last year that are worth getting, but that's but I don't think I could get 50. So of the 4,726 games, I'm saying less than 50 were worth playing or even having. And that's part of the problem too. It's not like there's 3,000 plus games that are going to be sleeper hits and that they'll start selling a year later or 2 years later or something like this. And this really goes to the point where if Steam just kind of curated its inventory a little bit better, it would probably improve its sales a little bit and not be this just terrible marketplace. It's like a junk store that now Steam is. You'll go into a junk store hoping to maybe find something interesting, but mostly they're just to waste time or browse without the intention of spending any real money. I would much prefer going to an electronics store and see the curated electronics that they will sell than go to a junk store and see a couple of old TVs that probably don't even work. And like, I think that's a major problem, and I think that covers about half of my whiteboard here. Blackboard. It's actually black, but it's called the boogie board. Stupid name. And how long have we been going? About 20 minutes? And we're not making a ton of progress here. Let's see if we can just hurry through the rest of this, though, because I know these things aren't going to be super long. Like Mass Effect Andromeda is coming in March. Yay. Facial expressions and animations will improve. Apparently, some people didn't like the trailer's facial expressions. You can still upgrade Windows 10 for free if you go to the accessibility upgrade website and say you use an accessibility settings, which basically means you're saying, I use a screen reader, I'm blind, I'm deaf, I'm in some other way disabled, and I'm having trouble upgrading the normal way. Microsoft doesn't probably care if end users pay to upgrade to 10. They just wanted people on 10 anyways. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lawsuit at some point for the way they push people on the 10, and their remedy offer will be that they'll give Windows 10 free for life to everybody. And they'll offer that as their payment for forcing people to Windows 10 is just more of Windows 10. I doubt anybody would accept that.
Job's done.
This movie Alien Covenant is getting a VR game ? I wonder if this is the next stage in the failure of VR. In my mind, is that we're gonna start seeing these VR experiences, walkthroughs, just movie things for movies as something, as just kind of commercials. I've got some old information here, like Super Mario Run earned 30 million in the first 2 weeks. By this point, I feel most people have fallen off of Super Mario Run. There's a loyal, small fan base probably, but most people don't want to play it. Afterbirth Plus for The Binding of Isaac. Afterbirth Plus is out now and has been out for a little while. Doesn't seem like it vastly changed things, and I could never see myself going back to that series right now. It seems too long. Fan Project has recreated Deckard's apartment from Blade Runner. It's called Blade Runner 9732, which I assume is the date. And then the final thing is CNN used video footage of Fallout 4's hacking minigame as a background when they were talking about the Russian hacking, or the hacking that is being accused to Russia. Whatever, it's the Russian hacking. It seems like everybody agrees to that point. Although, at this point in my life, I'm starting to wonder if maybe I listen to the news people, even if all the news people are saying something, maybe that's not the truth. Even then. So, that eliminates our second list of topics to talk about, which is good because I don't really want to go to yet another recording. We didn't make any progress successful here, but one more priest victory on casual and 3 more warrior things will get us 140, which will put us at 4950 as far as our gold. So we will be just very slightly short of the 5,000 mark as it goes. There's no reason to do the Tavern Brawl. I kind of feel like the Tavern Brawl screwed us out of a free card pack there. But, whatever. There's nothing new in the shop, is there? No. Nothing here. Yeah, nothing new. So, that's it for this recording. As always, like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me further, go to my main YouTube page. On the right there's a button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.